Students, let us study chemical bonding. Chemical bonding is a vast topic. Out of that, limited syllabus we are going to cover. Before that, question you will be with, why should we study this chemical bonding? Reason behind the study, let me make clear first. See, take a compound or chemical, say matter. Example, a milk that we take. If we have to study the milk from chemistry perspective point of view, what we will do? We will know its physical and chemical properties. Milk is not a one compound. It is made from many compounds. But I am talking about a combined result. That's a product. That is milk. Milk has its own properties that we will study. So it is a one part. So in this pyramid, I represented one vertex as properties. Other point is processing. We can perform different processes on the milk and we can get different products. Simply, if we boil that, we will get a cream. If we convert milk to curd, likewise the various milk products we can obtain, that's a processing on the milk or processing by this milk. So different ways are there by which we can understand that chemical. So that processing depends on properties. So the base of that pyramid is with three vertex. One already I taught, properties. Second, just now I taught, that is processing. Now third, performance. This milk, this chemical, this matter has applications. So whatever its applications are there, that is, I said, it has what? Performance. All those, one, property, second, processing, third, performance, all those are related to a top of the pyramid, tip of the pyramid. What is that? Structure. Everything is related. Let you see performance related to structure. Let you see processing related to structure. Let you see properties, they are related to structure. And combined, summarized understanding of all those four. Which four items are there? Structure, properties, processing, performance is called characteristics of that chemical or group of the chemicals, or in general you can say matter. So what is the conclusion? If we have to characterize a chemical or chemicals, we need to know structure. Structure is a basic aspect, but it is a micro level study. And this structure involves bonding between atoms, ions and molecules, that is called as chemical bonding. Therefore students, to know these all applications or processing or properties, we need to study structure, and to know structure we need to study chemical bonding. That is the importance of chemical bonding. Okay, now if we understood the importance of chemical bonding, let us know what exactly this chemical bonding is. For that, a representative, one image I have shown here. What do you interpret from this image? A girl child is very happy to get a milk in her glass. There is a friendship between she and the donor of the milk. So that friendship we experience in our life in various situations. Similarly, see this image. What do you find? One rope is holding other rope. So there is a bond between two ropes. Likewise, in our life, we remain with friendship, bond between two persons or many persons. So that bonding as we experience, likewise these atoms, ions, molecules means chemical species experiences bonding. So that friendship between these species, friendship between atoms, ions, molecules is called as bonding. Is called as chemical bonding. So what is bonding? Bonding is friendship, and friendship between chemicals is called as chemical bonding. I hope now the concept of the chemical bonding is clear. So what are the types of friendships in atoms, ions or molecules or in general chemical species? How can we attribute or explain that bonding? That we need to study. So after understanding what is meant by the chemical bonding, let us know types of chemical bonds. Different ways are there by which attraction may possible. One way is no particular direction for attraction. It is called non-directional bonding. There will be attraction, there will be bonding, but it is non-directional bonding. To make this concept clear, I give you one example. Non-directional exactly means what? Just imagine a bulb, a tube, or a source of light which gives light. Light that we see is made up of many photons, numerous photons. Just imagine only one photon, just imagine only one photon is coming out from the source. Can you predict? Can you tell where will that proton go? In your right hand side, to your left side, towards you, towards me, upside, down, where will that go? No, we can't predict it exactly. That we say random propagation will be there. In any direction it will be there. It is called non-directional, number one. And other, no particular direction means non-directional. Just see here. One diagram is represented where arrows are in all directions. There is a no particular direction. So such kind of bonding is called non-directional bonding. To make this concept clear, let me describe it by one example. If I consider positive ion, this positive ion can attract negative ion from which direction? If negative ion approaches from your side, then only it will show attraction. Or if approaches from my side, then only it will show attraction. Or your left side it comes, then only it can show attraction. How? In which direction should that negative ion come? No, there is a restriction. There is no restriction. There is no particular direction. Let negative ion can come from any direction. There will always attraction between positively charged ion and negatively charged ion. So such kind of bonding is called as non-directional bonding. Now, second type of bonding is directional bonding. For that, see this one particular image is given. One direction is given. So if you go by that direction, then you will achieve the goal. Then there will be the bonding. Likewise, there remains a few atoms, molecules. They orient their lobes of the orbitals in particular direction. Means, suppose a carbon in acetyl undergoes sp hybridization. Sp hybridization means two hybrid orbitals are there. One to your left side and other to your right side. So hydrogens, if they are coming, they should come in this direction only. Hydrogen is not allowed to come from top. Other hydrogen has to come from your right side. So this is the way, this is the direction by which hydrogen has to come, then only overlap will occur, then only bonding will occur. Such kind of bonding is called directional bonding. Let us discuss these bondings one by one. Say first, non-directional bonding. Let me make a few basic aspects clear. Non-directional bonding is between positively charged ion and negatively charged ion. Let us talk first about the positively charged ion. Can you give any example of positively charged ion? Yes, Na+. This Na+ is atomic ion, means only one sodium atom was there, from that ion is formed. It is called atomic ion. Any other example where molecule is there and ion is there, positive ion is there? Yes, guess. Yes. NH4 plus, there nitrogen, 4 hydrogens, and whatever the molecule has established over there is bearing a charge, positive charge. So we say it is monopositive molecular ion. Positive species can be atomic or can be molecular. We want positive charge there on atom or what? Molecule. So what is the name for positively charged ions? Yes, only one word is there. What we say? Anion or cation or cation or anion? Cation. Yes, positively charged ions are called cations. It is a basic. Second basic point I want to make clear in the similar way. Negatively charged ions are called now anions. Examples of anions: one atomic anion and one molecular anion. Just please furnish. Yes, atomic anion you can consider. Cl minus. Cl minus means chlorine? No. Say chloride. IDE means negative charge is there. If you say chlorine, then what happens? Meaning of that chlorine? It is a chlorine atom, Cl, or chlorine molecule, Cl2, but not Cl minus. Cl minus, then what will be the name? Chloride. Likewise, other molecular ion, SO4 minus 2. SO4 minus 2. What is the name for SO4 minus 2? Sulfate. Yes, chloride and sulfate are the two examples of anions. Okay, fine. So between cation and anion, what do you expect? Between positive charged ion and negative charged ion, what do you expect? There will be attraction or there will be repulsion? Of course, attraction. That attraction is nothing but the bond, chemical bond. What is the type of bond? Ionic bond. The attraction between the species because of the unlike charges, different charges, that is called as chemical bond, and that type of bonding, such bonding is called ionic bonding. And it is directional or non-directional? It is non-directional. Let anion can come from any direction, or if I consider anion here, let cation can come from any direction. So this is non-directional ionic bonding that we need to study. So basic ideas I made clear. Let us study now ionic bonding. One more basic I make clear. This bonding occurs for what purpose? Why atoms or ions or molecules do react to form new species? This is because they want stability. Why do we live? Because we want to be happy. Likewise, molecules, atoms, ions also want to be happy. And in order to get that happiness, they react. And their reactivity we study in chemistry. But their purpose of living is with perfect business mind. They want profit. If they do any business, certain profit will be there. Profit means more satisfaction, more stability they can achieve. And if not, then they will attempt to get that stability. Here, just one image I have shown. A gardener is investing time, investing money to water the plant. After that, plant gives the result. That is what? Fruit. And that fruit or flowers, that will be the profit? No. Profit means what? Whatever the output that he got, that's the sell value. We say price. And whatever the investment he has done, you can say it is what the cost. Price minus cost. We can get what? The profit. So likewise, molecules, atoms or ions, things, how much investment is there? Yes, they also have to invest. They also have to take something from other or surrounding. And then they think if they take that much amount of energy, what will be the output? Whether output is more than that of the investment or not. If it is more, then that is what the proper business. If that calculation works, then only they will do the business. Always the chemicals remain in profit. They govern stability. they do such a changes where there are chances to get the stability. If there are no chances, then that business atoms, ions or molecules will not do. Atoms, ions or molecules will not be involved in the chemical bond formation. Yes, are you getting? Let us start now the non-directional bonding called as right ionic bonding. What are the essential conditions to form ionic bond? See, if ionic bond has to form, then what should be there? There should be cation. If you want cation, then what you need? So at the beginning, originally cation will not be there. There will be one element or there will be one atom. That atom you have to ionize. That is a one thing. And if you take anion, then what is necessary? Anion, how can you get? Anion you can get from any molecule or any atom. So it has to take electron and then has to form anion. Then this cation and anion will come closer or together to form ionic compound, to form crystal lattice. A cation can attract anion from any direction. It is called non-directional attraction. Other way, anion can attract cation from any direction. So it is non-directional. And the attraction between cation and anion in all direction results one kind of building. And that building is called as crystal lattice. See, one representation is given. So crystals are obtained. It is because of attraction between cation and anion, attraction between ions. So what kind of bonding is there in these crystals? Ionic bonding. Let us study this ionic bonding. This ionic bonding essentially involves three steps. Step number 1, formation of cation from atom. For example, formation of Na plus from Na. It is a first step. Second step, formation of anion from atom or molecule. Example, formation of Cl minus from Cl2. Third step, whatever the Na plus and Cl minus are formed, they will come together with non-directional ionic bonding and will form such a building, such a crystal. And the formation of such a crystal is the third step. During formation of such a crystal, energy will go out. Now let us know what are the essential conditions to form ionic bond. A first condition, see one diagram also or image is shown to you. Formation of gaseous product. Essential condition is, first condition, there should be low sublimation energy. Easy sublimation. Now question you will be with, we are talking about formation of cation. We are talking about removal of electron and getting a positive ion. Then why sublimation? Students, remind the definition of ionization energy. What was the definition of ionization energy? Energy needed to remove an electron from 1 mole of, forget about that number, 1 mole of gaseous atom. Gaseous atom we have to establish first. Means if I take sodium element, many atoms are there. They are bonded by metallic bond. I want only one atom. And only one atom, the other interaction not there. Where will it be possible? Where there is a no more interaction in gaseous state. So we need to convert that solid to gas. Now conversion of solid to gas is called right sublimation energy. Therefore we need to discuss first sublimation energy. That sublimation energy we need to provide or energy will come out. For sublimation we need to provide the energy. So it is an investment. It is a loan from molecule formation point of view. So sodium chloride, if I want to establish ionic compound, if I have to establish, sublimation energy is the investment in the business. And that investment as far as should be low, unnecessary, unwanted investment should not be there. So what is expected condition? Low sublimation energy. Okay, now second essential condition. Now what we got there? sublime product. We got the gaseous atom. We got the gaseous sodium atom, for example, if you say. Then from this gaseous atom, isolated, separate atom, what is the main thing we need to obtain? We need to obtain cation. We need to remove electron from that. And to remove electron from that atom, what is necessary? Shall we provide the energy or energy will come out? Yes, here also we need to provide the energy, and that energy which we provide to remove the electron is called as ionization energy. Now, as I said before, ionization should be or investment should be as low as possible. So there should be low ionization energy. Means essential condition that I am talking. What was the first essential condition? Low sublimation energy. What is the second essential condition? There should be low ionization energy. Energy needed to remove the electron should be low as possible. Okay, first essential condition, easy cation formation. It involves two steps. First, sublimation, and second, ionization. Now, second factor, easy anion formation. Now, when will anion formation be easy? For example, suppose if I take chlorine atom, but it should obtain no. Naturally, how chlorine exists? Chlorine exists in Cl2 form, diatomic species. So first I have to break the bond between chlorine and chlorine. Means I have to dissociate that chlorine molecule and I should get one chlorine atom. It's my first step. And second step, that chlorine atom will grab or grasp one additional electron. And now because of that extra electron, it will govern negative charge. The first step to form easy anion is low dissociation energy. Low dissociation energy means our investment will be less because energy we have to provide for dissociation. Second point is easy anion formation. Immediately should form what the Cl minus or more energy should liberate because during formation of this anion, atom takes the electron, energy comes out. So what is here? It is a cell value. Means one of the cell value you can consider. Here energy is liberated. Till now energy was absorbed. In sublimation absorbed, in ionization absorbed, in dissociation absorbed. And first time you are finding in affinity, in electron affinity, in taking, in gaining, that's called electron gain enthalpy. This electron gain enthalpy should be higher or lower? No, if you want profit, it should be as more as possible. So it should be high electron gain enthalpy. For representation purpose, I had given the halogen family elements and their electron gain enthalpies. Among these, who is superior? Who has a high electron gain enthalpy? Chlorine. Yes. So this point, electron gain enthalpy is in favor of chlorine compared to other halogens. Third point, there should be easy lattice formation, or during formation of building, there more energy should evolve out. That is called as lattice energy. So out of these 5 points, first point was sublimation, energy we are providing. Second point was ionization, energy we were providing. Third point was dissociation, energy we were providing. Fourth point was electron gain enthalpy, here energy was coming out. Last point was lattice energy, here energy was coming out. So combination of all those 5 will decide the fate of the reaction, will decide formation of the ionic compound. What is our expectation? Combination of this should be in such a way energy will release and system or molecule or compound will get stability. This energy will release if investment is less, if this enthalpy of ionization is less, if this dissociation energy is less, if this electron gain enthalpy is more negative, if this lattice energy is more negative, then only ionic compound formation is possible. So what is the conclusion of today's discussion? To form an ionic compound, to form a crystal, 3 things are necessary. Number 1, easy cation formation. It involves 2 subpoints. sublimation and ionization. Number 2, easy anion formation. It involves 2 points. Number 1, dissociation and electron gain enthalpy. And third point, there should be high lattice energy. If these things are matching, then ionic compound formation will be easy. These are the essential conditions to form ionic compound. I hope the concept is clear to you. Now student, I ask you few tricky questions. Let me know how much you know the chemistry or how can you apply the chemistry, because only getting information has no meaning, only data and writing in the examination. You need to apply whatever your information is there. So let us test. How can you apply? It is observed that metals form ionic compounds. In general, I am talking. But lithium and beryllium, these are the elements, they form covalent compounds. So my question number 1 is, why lithium and beryllium prefer to form covalent compounds? Now we have discussed ionization, enthalpy of ionization. It is an investment. So if I consider calcium, so if I have to remove one electron, less investment. If I have to remove 2 electron, the second electron from positively charged Ca+, then more investment we need to do. So combined investment to remove first electron, one energy I need to provide. To remove second electron, additional energy I have to provide. So what actually should happen? Ca+ should be stable. Ca+ and its salt should be there. Despite of low investment, despite of low energy needed to form Ca+. Why calcium prefers to form Ca+2? Don't give answer only on the basis of electronic configuration. Is my second question clear? Good. Okay. In ionic bonding, what we studied, there is an attraction between positively charged ion and negatively charged anion. Positively charged cation and negatively charged anion. So if I consider anion like nitride, N-3, means more negative charge is there. So it should attract the cations and should form ionic compounds. But it is found nitrides are not ionic. Why? Now fourth and last question that I asked to you. I have shown you the electron gain enthalpies of the halogens. Generally, as we move from top to bottom, electron gain enthalpy increases. But what is our finding? Second element, chlorine, has highest ever electron affinity in these elements. Actually, fluorine should be with the highest electron affinity, but it is not. So question is, why the electron affinity of chlorine is higher compared to fluorine? So students, let us think on these 4 questions. I hope you will work to get the answers. That's the understanding of the chemistry. Let us think to learn and learn to think. For that, I asked these 4 questions. So in next part, let us discuss types of solids with interesting structures.